not able to hear. But a quick call to our audience in case. So we have Seema and Shwetha are our panelists today for the topic Journey of 100 Patents and Beyond. If you want to ask any questions, you can go and ask the question and answers in the stage chat window. We'll give a second before they both can join. Please.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kanika. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes, Shwetha, loud and clear. Welcome aboard board.
Hi, Shwetha. Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, Seema. Thanks for joining in. And I know like all the audience will be very excited to know more about your journey and how the things are going on. Without wasting much time, because we just have 30 minutes to catch up on lots of interesting and exciting things today. To begin with, Seema, can you kindly talk about your background, your studies, and your place of birth? This is a request from my daughter.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I think this is also, I always talk about that. That's sort of interesting part about my life. So I was actually born in a very small village where there was no school at all. And my mother also never went to school. So, and of course, my father had gone to school and he was a teacher. But for us, there were no school, and then we had to go a school nearby village. That was around 2 kilometers. So every day we'll walk and go to school and come back. So that was, and then that school was only till grade 5, and what to do after that, right? So my mother, she was like very, she wanted us to do proper education. So my father said that there is a boarding school in nearby that is around 100 kilometers, and that's where you can go and do your class till 12th. So there was an exam for to be qualified for that school. So I did that, and then I was like first in the exam, and I had finally went to the boarding school. There actually life was sort of difficult because such a little child, and initially I found it hard to cope up, but eventually it worked really well. I had fun with my friends. So, and then what happened after grade 10th, I wanted to do math. I wanted to go for math, but my family somehow thought that probably engineering is not such a good idea for a girl. Why don't you go for biology and become a doctor? So I said, okay, fine. So he dropped me in the school, and I applied for biology, and I studied biology for 3 days. But somehow I said, no, I don't want to study biology. And I switched to math without telling anybody on the earth. My father, my family, nobody knew that I am. So they came to meet me after a month, because that was the norm, that every first Sunday of a month, your parents can come and visit you. So then that time they got to know that I am studying math, not biology. After that, I wanted to do engineering and computer science. So I went to IIT Guwahati. There I did my education. So why I'm telling all of this, because when it comes to patenting, right, that is also something which is not, which doesn't exist. You're trying to do something, trying to find a solution for a problem. And this mindset came from the beginning itself, that I was like in a village where there was no, I couldn't have actually gone to school. That would have happened, but that didn't happen. I made it happen, that I will go to school, and I finally went to IIT to do my BTech. So this mindset actually definitely helped me when it came to patenting. Later on, when after my BTech, I joined IBM Research India. There in research lab, we were doing patents. My team were doing patents. So once in a while, like 3-4 patents in a year we used to do. But actually, inventing really started when one of my colleagues said that he had a couple of ideas which he shared with me, and then I was like, wow, those ideas were actually beyond the project I was working on. So that was the literally the starting of my patenting journey.
That's interesting. By the way, which city or which village, which state you didn't mention?
Yeah, it is Rajasthan, near Kota, Jhalawar. Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot for sharing that info. I'll surely convey this to my daughter. So, the next question is what are the challenges that you started seeing when you started with the patenting during the initial days?
Yeah. Oh, so when like the first patent, I didn't even realize that I'm going to have a patent because it was a team patent. And then I was in the discussions, and then they actually wrote it up, put it for, submitted it, and it got evaluated, eventually got filed. So I was like, okay, probably it's not such a big deal. It's easy to have a patent because these guys have done it. But then it didn't occur to me that I will be doing it very regularly, and I really want to become a prolific inventor. That time it was just like day-to-day job that, okay, as your team is doing, you can also do a few per year. And then but so that was, so if you remain within a project, you can do a certain number of patents per year. But then what I realized that with my mentor, like who he guided me initially, that if you want to scale out, right, you have to bring new ideas. It's not just what you're working on. You have to sort of uh, you have to go to the other areas which are not you're currently working. You might not even have the knowledge. Probably you need to read more about them. Probably you need to have more literature about the research work going in other domains. So that's what so he and I used to have this brainstorming session regularly. Like we set up a time actually per week, like for half an hour we used to just do a brainstorming session, just think in the wild. That help. So that getting the initial mind blow, that what do I do next, which idea should I pursue, that actually this brainstorming sessions over time. And then we used to have this joint writing session, so both of us together learned a lot. And then that mindset that that you can invent new things slowly developed. So this was the initial challenge, that how to go about generating more ideas. So that actually now that is no longer the case. Now we like, okay,
Yeah.
throw any keywords at us, and we will give you new ideas. So that has become like much more better now. So other challenging aspect, which is you need time, right? You have to give additional time apart from your regular work. So you need to set up time, like sometimes I on Saturday morning, I get up early and write a patent in 2 hours. That's
Hmm.
what I do at times. But that setting up time, and then that discipline of doing it continuously, and that needs some effort. All with the work is not always easy, because some you have like deadlines, deliverables. Every each of us have that. So getting this additional time, it gets challenging at time. But so far I have been managing it. Now it's getting a little hard, but hopefully it should be fine after some time. Hi Shweta, can you hear? Hello.
Yeah, hi Seema.
Yeah.
I think there was a network glitch. We all know this is a side effect of
Ye-
working from home.
Yeah, virtual. Yeah. No worries, no
Yeah,
issues.
so
Yeah,
we'll get Shweta back. So yeah,
yeah.
so
Hopes.
yeah, she'll be joining quickly. Yeah, so I think that was too wonderful. So you shared with us that the brainstorming sessions and the dedicated time is the key behind
Is the key.
you writing the patent. So that's I'll take the key away. We have Shweta back on the session. Over to you, Shweta. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Kanika. Hey, I was there most of the time, but at the last piece, I think I missed you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Shweta, I
Yeah.
can hear you.
So the next question would be, you mean to say it is always helpful when you have someone like-minded to go along with you, and you believe going alone or going with the team will help, and how does that help? Can you elaborate on that part?
Sure. So I strongly believe going in a team helps. I have a core team. Two of us, my mentor and I, together we have been like it's been 12 years now. I think we have been
Ah.
inventing, and this is like then and he and I is a core team, and we go to other teams whenever required, because of the domain expertise other teams can bring. And also having multiple teams helps you to scale out. If you really want to do more, you cannot do it alone. You have to have proper teams with you working out. So that definitely helps. So and on top of that, if you have a team, so patenting is not just one time task, right? You wrote an idea, you present it to the committee, then they will evaluate, then there will be further refinements, and there was so many things. If you're not present, then others can take care of, right? It's not on you all the time. So there's many things. It's more like a process which will start from drafting the idea till that is filed in the USPTO. So that is a long process and it takes time, and that during that time you might not be available all the time. So that having a team definitely helps, especially when I had gone for maternity leave. I worked from home almost 3 years after my children were born. So those during that time, the teams definitely helped me. So having a team is a very good idea, to especially if you scale out and bring expertise and quality to your disclosures and patents.
So, coming back to a very interesting question and the title of the session, how is your journey from the first patent to the 100 patent, and what has kept you motivated to do those 100 patents?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's an interesting question. Like I said, my first patent, I was not even aware that this is going to be a patent, because my team had done it. And then slowly, I had just come from college without knowing what a patent is. Like all of us, we don't have any idea when we joined, but slowly I also learned that the whatever new things which we propose in our project can be can be a patent. So that started, and actually it really I would say I was in full steam when this discussion with my colleague, with my mentor, happened. So he listed a couple of at least 20 ideas. That's what I remember, and those ideas were wonderful. I was really floored. Wow, he is actually thinking beyond the projects, is going out of the domain and bringing those ideas to the table. So after that, he was very keen. I would say he motivated me. I was never sure myself that I really want to do patents, but he motivated me that we can have patents together. And then that was the beginning. So that's when this 20 ideas I saw on the screen, I say, okay, I want to do it. And slowly with him I started pursuing. And then he, I think till date, he keeps me motivated that let's keep doing more and more. And that's actually, this motivation has helped me. And like personally, I do have a goal that I want. So there is a Wikipedia list of most prolific inventors, and there
Ah,
are two Indians in that list. Okay, both of them are actually from IBM. And I want to see myself there in that list. So
that's an
that's
amazing one.
that I want to see myself in that prolific inventor list on Wikipedia. That keeps me motivated every day to have more patents.
Actually, I'm getting the goosebumps now. Setting the goal and working towards the goal has helped you to ensure that you keep inspired and motivated towards the goal. That's a really interesting one. Can you kindly help our audience and including me in explaining any one of your patent which can be easily understandable by everyone?
Yes, yeah, yes. Let me do that. So, I have two children. So my son is 7.5 now. I started telling him stories when he was 2.5. Okay, and that I tell him two stories every day in the night before sleeping, and those two stories I generate every day. Okay, those has to be new, and he doesn't want to repeat the whole stories. So every day, every night, I'm generating two stories on the fly. So this helped me to have this inventive mindset that okay, I can generate ideas for stories, so why can't I do for my work? So what happened, once we were reading a book together, and that book was basically there was a story about a boy who has gone for picnic outside with his friend, and both of them, because it's so windy, they want to fly a kite. Okay, so they were trying to fly a kite, but then it was so windy that that the kite flew away, and there were windmill also nearby. So this boy says, okay, there is a windmill spinning and there is a kite flying away and there is this tree shaking. So my son said, mama, see, there is nothing flying in the book, it's just static. The book, the kite is there only, the tree is there only, and the windmill is not spinning. So I said, oh, I said that's a genuine problem, because for a child it is hard to imagine how this animation will work out, right? So then I proposed this idea, and eventually it is a patent now, that can we have a digital assistant, right, which will read the book, the text in the book, get the objects or the entities in the book, get the actions, which is spinning, flying. There could be multiple such actions, right? Go get those actions, associate this action with the objects in the book, right? And then suitable rendering of those actions. So that was sort of the since I was also part of early childhood learning project that time, and this went very well with the project also. And that I think is the most simplest one I can recall. That is, I guess everybody can understand.
I think this every parent can understand, or even someone who is unmarried but still have their cousins around. They can also relate. I think this is the best way. Telling the stories, coming up with innovative stories, has helped in going beyond the things. That's really
Yes.
amazing. From the audience, also these questions are there. So I'm just trying to bring it together. How do you evaluate a patent, an idea is patentable, or how do you ensure that you fail fast, considering that okay, this is no more a patentable idea, and you stop there? How do you take those approaches?
Okay. That's So now probably I know that it is not patentable by just if somebody tells me something. But initially it was hard that whether this could be a patent or not, right? So first thing, which is novelty, which is nobody has done it, right? That's or you cannot combine any existing prior art to get this idea. So that's so we I used to do prior art search, which is very very important. Prior art search before you write your disclosure, before you write your idea. It's very important we do that, you do prior art search. That I used to do. And if it doesn't exist, then I will start drafting the disclosure deck. That used to be the process, that I go through the prior art, and the idea is not done before, is not present in the prior art. That is the first step which I would do. And sometimes even what might happen, that even if you have the idea, right, it might not be sufficient enough for patenting, right? But that line is very actually thin. What is sufficient enough for patenting and what is not is actually is very thin. Nobody knows. There is no quantitative definition. It's all qualitative. So that time we used to put many things together, so that okay, there are some many things together, so that it helps in novelty aspect also, and we feel there is enough meat in it, so that it should go for a patent. So that's what I used to do. But now with the experience, I know that it is a patent now. It can be patented, whether is finally patented or not. But I know at an idea level that if it should be, it can be patented.
Do you like to share your screen and help the audience with prototype, with the template kind of?
Yeah, sure. Let me share that. Yeah.
And this is for all of your audience. Seema Nagar is going to share her sample on what a patentable idea, the write up should look like. I think this is one of the important learning for everyone, because people have ideas, but then they will not be able to put in an appropriate format, or they don't know where to get started, how to write a patent, how it looks like, the format. Seema Nagar is going to help us out with this aspect.
Can you see my
There is
screen?
a monitor. Not yet.
Uh, it's a select window.
You have
I
selected the window?
already. Yes, I did. I did. Let me see. Okay, is it? Can you see it now? Somehow the monitor still says the red line.
No problem. You can send it to our ID and we will help people to view it. We can still do
Okay.
that. Usha, can you kindly share your ID so that Seema will be sharing with you and you can share your screen? Yeah, Seema, Usha has sent her ID. Let's move
Okay.
on to the next question, but audience, please watch out for this important information. So, Seema, do you have any tools or what are the styles or the process that you follow while you're coming up with any of the disclosure? And how do you look at those things?
Yes. Yeah, I think this template would help in that one also. So the process and
Mm-hmm.
style is basically I have the earlier days we used to write every patent from scratch. Then I
Mm-hmm.
realized that having a template should help.
Oh.
Uh, that template actually all the critical aspects, right, which
Mm-hmm.
should go in a patent are put together. So it's just sketches of various things which should go in a patent. I have put in the template and I have shared Shweta with not with Usha the template. Would you be
Yes.
able to okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so the template is what I follow, and the template usually helps to basically fill in every detail required for the patent. So that has helped me. And also initially when I was just starting, I used to do this joint writing sessions with my mentor. He
Uh-huh.
has written some, and he wanted, and it used to be fun together. We used to write on the shared screen. Actually, I was in Delhi, but I moved to Bangalore, and he was still in Delhi, so we used to share a screen and do joint writing sessions, and that has
Okay.
definitely helped to write a better disclosure deck. So those all the elements, like the novelty, the invention summary, the methods,
Mm-hmm.
right, the very important aspect of a patent is that it is implementable. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
invent a time machine. Why? Because you don't have methods to implement it, right? So
Okay.
grounding your idea so that it can be implemented well, the methods to back it up, that is very very critical. Many times I have seen there are so many people who approaches me with ideas like very up in the air, right? Without the methods you cannot have a patent on that
Mm-hmm.
idea. So that's how I started. And the patent the template that helps me to make sure that all the components are there, all the
Mm-hmm.
required methods are there, how the system is going to work, the workflow is there, the diagram, the component diagram, the architecture, the how all the components are going to interact, the system architecture diagram is there. All that help me to that the idea I'm proposing is actually implementable, and somebody skilled in the art can implement it.
So, do you think a prototype is also a must, or is it okay that if you think that, okay, this is still achievable based on my experience, I can still go ahead with this? No need of piloting it. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so prototype is actually not must. I have not, like, I wouldn't have 100 patents. Like I am around 130 now, so that
Oh, wow.
prototype for 130 patents is like hard to imagine. So
True.
yeah, so if you can say that, okay, if you can put in, okay, these are the technology. I do have a slide in my template where we said these are the technology for enabling this disclosure, this patent. So if you can
Hmm.
pinpoint, okay, these are the methods, and these are the behind these methods, this is the technology, current existing technology which can be used to do this,
Okay.
then it's fine. So prototype is actually hard. I mean, it's good to have, but it's not must.
That's really nice. I think Usha has already got the template up and she'll be sharing it out. So yeah, that is one of the important aspect because people will be thinking that, oh, should I be really good in coding and go and implement it? But as you gave that really wonderful point that you need not have to develop a prototype. Rather, it will be good if you know that what are the implementation plans and the templates,
Mhm.
something like this.
Yeah.
Next screen, Usha. Maybe you want to drive through each and every slide, Seema.
Yeah.
You
So
want to
first
give a
slide.
brief intro?
Sure. So first slide
Yes.
is basically the topics of your disclosure or your patent. So we say we
Hmm.
have hard coded system and method for that's sort of the already like that
Okay.
those words you don't have to type again. This okay. So yeah, that's basically title slide, the title of the disclosure. Let's go to the next
Okay.
one. So this is the what I was saying earlier, invention summary or novelty. You have to clearly articulate that this is the novelty I am proposing here. This is the idea and this is the novel part of it which do not exist, which cannot be obtained using existing prior arts. So this is very like your executive summary. This is your invention summary to drive the point that this is the novel point you are trying to protect here. Okay, we can go to the next one.
Next slide. Yeah, state of the art.
Yes, so this is what I also earlier spoke about. So, what is the current literature? What is the prior art on what you're doing? So, and you have to clearly state that this is the prior art. Prior art can enable this, but prior art cannot enable what I am proposing. So, what is
Mm.
missing in the prior art? And
Okay.
this is what my invention is going to enable, which is missing in the prior art. So the prior art search like is a very key before you draft it, before you start drafting your idea. So that's so we do. So I have a proper slide which basically has to come that this is the state of the art, this is missing, and this is what I propose. And yeah, we can go to the next one.
Next slide.
Yeah, so sample embodiment is basically how your invention will look like in real life, how it can be an example of how it is going to be useful. It's good to have because it helps others to understand what you're proposing. It's good to have this one. This is not must, but it's good to have to explain to the committee that this is how it will work in the real life. Okay, we can go to the next one. Yeah, this is I think I spoke the technology for enablement. So what you are proposing, right? What are the technology you are going to use to to implement it? So is it because eye tracking? Is it machine learning, deep learning? If it's deep learning, which technology within deep learning? So it has to be grounded to the level that these are the technology which are going to be useful for my patent. So that's why I have a slide here which specifically tells that these that I have to put what are the technologies required to implement this solution. Okay, we can go to the next one. Yeah, this is basically system architecture diagram where you again we have like always have one user and there's a phone also, so we have put it in the and there's a database. So this is basically like hard coded, like what in the coding language. So yeah, so this system architecture diagram explains what are the various components in your solution and how they interact. So this is actually must to have. This is very important. Without it, it's hard to realize the patent in practice. Example workflow is again you can explain how your patent how the various components going to work together, how the flow is how the flow looks like. This is not must to have, but it's okay, good to have. Now this is what the list of methods, probably the last one. This is what are the methods required to implement the solution. So I always list down the methods, method 1, method 2, method 3. It can method 1 can do this, method 2 can do this, and those and the details of each and every method to the level that to the level that if anybody reads it, he or she can implement the solution. I think that's pretty much from the template perspective. I hope it helped the audience.
It actually helped a lot. So what question from the audience side I would like to take, because many questions we have already wrapped as part of our conversation. One of the questions is that what is the difference between a publication and a patent? Because many a times, if it is patentable, it can't be published, or if it is published, it is not getting patented. So any pointers on that line?
Okay, so that is not true that if you have published it, you cannot patent it. So patent basically it has to come with before the publication. That's at least the norm in IBM. That if you are going to write a paper on what you're proposing, it has to be protected first. That as a patent, then you can publish it as a paper. And uh, and while there is actually fundamental difference, right? In a paper you have to demonstrate that with proper experiments that what you proposing works, right? The proper experimentation, the section is very much required in papers, while in patent you don't need that. So patent is basically idea which can be implementable, which can be implemented using the methods you write in the deck, right? So that is I think the difference. And you can have a patent before a publication. That's allowed, that you can do.
Thanks a lot, Seema. I think this 30 minutes just went
Or
just like this. So
yeah.
it was very informative and very educational. And I think we should have more conversation to help more people, and help them understanding all these aspects. Maybe we will be scheduling one more conversation with you where people can come up with their ideas, and we'll help them in brainstorming and so on.
Sure.
Back to you, Kanika.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks, Seema. Thanks, Shwetha. Those were some words of wisdom. And 130 patents leaves me spellbound. Yeah, definitely. As Shwetha said, I'm coming back, and we need to have more sessions with you. Thanks a lot. It was a illuminating discussion, I must say. So I'll quickly summarize what Seema brought to us. So Seema shared the best practices, having a patent template on how to write a good patent paper, grounding the idea, methods to bake it up, publications. One of the key takeaways from the discussion. I'm sure our audience would be noting it down to keep it, penning it down. Another one is networking and working in teams. We all know how important it is to connect with people, and forum like these help us to connect with them. So that's another key point which Seema brought it. And this is another one which is everybody will be able to relate. So each one of us at some point of time had an idea which we thought would be good enough to make a patent or not. But after listening to Seema's mastercards, mainly setting goal, brainstorming sessions, discipline mindset, and dedicating time, all relatable. And now I know how to go about it. I'm sure you would too, isn't it? So that's all I wanted to summarize. Once again, thank you, Seema and Shwetha.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful discussion. So just a quick note for our audience. We are running late by 15 minutes. Please refresh the reception page for updated schedule. Thank you all. And looking forward for you all in the upcoming sessions. Thank you, Seema. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Stay
Thanks,
safe.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.